special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. We will begin the service with the ringing of the kanshō, and then please follow along with the chanting of Jusege. Either follow along on the screen or in the purple service book in front of you, page 93.
主門高僧上万道引用の実法日月主十期天候音分へ一種解放像法世苦読法両大集中説法四式供養一切部具足習得本観念質上満得意三害用女仏無下地通達未不詳感覚へに投資最小損志願若国家内戦王冠の国書店に東内妙家ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしくどくよどせいさいどほんもだいしおじょ
Okay, we will now have the reading of Three Treasures, followed by Sankyemon.
I invite you to join me with palms together as we recite together the three treasures. Hard is it to receive a human form. Now we have received it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma. Now we hear it. If we do not receive awakening in this life, in what life shall we do so? Let us reverently take refuge together in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. Together with all beings, may we attain the great way of enlightenment, awakening to the supreme intent of the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. Together with all beings, may we enter the storehouse of Dharma, acquiring wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. Together with all beings, may we become united at the great assembly, being free of all bondage. Hard is it to encounter the supreme, profound, and wondrous Dharma, even in 100,000 million kalpa. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true intent of the Tathagata. Sankyemon. Ninjin ukegatashi imasure ni uku. Buppo kikigatashi imasure ni kiku. Konomi konjo ni mukatte dosezun ba, sarani izure no shou ni mukatte ka konomi o dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. Mizu kara butsu ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masa ni nega waku ma shujou to tomo ni. Daido o taige shite mujoi o okosan. Mizu kara ho ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masa ni nega waku wa shujou to tomo ni. Fukaku kyouzo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizu kara so ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masa ni nega waku wa shujou to tomo ni. Daishu o tori shite issai mugen naran. Mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa 100,000万語にもあようことかたし。我今検問し従事することへたり。願わくは如来の真実義を下し立てまつらん。ナモアミダブツナマンダブツナマンダブナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブナマンダブツナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ。
Okay, and now Reverend Umezu will deliver her Dharma message.
I invite you to once again join me with hands together as I read a passage written by Venerable Shinran. To the multitudes of beings who live in the world of unwholesomeness, in the age of 5 defilements, who are full of afflictions and wrong views, the Buddhas, as numerous as grains of sand on the Ganges, give the calling name of Amida and urge them to take refuge in it. Namanda, namanda. Well, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? It's kind of early for me. Thank you very much for joining us today. For those of you who have been coming, thank you very much for coming back, and would like to offer a special welcome to anyone who may be joining us for the first time, either in person or on Zoom. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the Nembutsu teaching with us today. The passage that I've just shared comes from Venerable Shinran's collection of odes on the Pure Land. In this poem, Venerable Shinran is concluding his series of poems that praise the essence of the Amida Sutra, which is one of the 3 sutras that are most important to this teaching of Jodo Shinshu. This poem is teaching us that the calling name of Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, is being passed on to us by all the other Buddhas who have ever existed. This means this is not only Shakyamuni Buddha, but all of those who have passed on into the realm of nirvana. It is also clarifying who this name is being given to. It is being given to all the beings who not only live in a world full of unwholesomeness, that is, full of three poisons and wrong views of delusion and ignorance, but it has been given to those who have three poisons and wrong views themselves. The beings that are being described are ordinary, unenlightened beings. This seems like an unflattering way to describe unenlightened beings, regular people. But these characters of unenlightened people are being described to us for a reason. This description is trying to bring us to understand more deeply about what it means to be unenlightened. The opposite of enlightenment and nirvana is to be full of wrong views. Wrong view means not being able to accept all things, experiences, and people as they are, as just being. It is also to be full of attachments that cause us to have our self-centered three poisons. It is because an unenlightened people have these characteristics that all the Buddhas are urging us to receive and listen to Namo Amida Butsu. To elaborate on my appreciation of what it means for us to be unenlightened people that are recipients of Namo Amida Butsu, I would like to share a joke that I recently heard. There was a couple who just moved into a new house. From this new house, from the kitchen window, they could see into the neighbor's backyard. So the morning after they moved in, while they were eating their breakfast, one spouse saw their neighbor hanging the laundry out to dry on the clothesline in the backyard. The spouse commented, "That laundry's not very clean. I don't think they know how to wash correctly. Maybe they need a better detergent." The second spouse looked on and remained silent. The next time the neighbor was hanging their laundry outside, the first spouse looked out again and made the same comment. For the next several weeks, every time the neighbor hung their laundry out to dry and the first spouse saw it, they continued to make various comments about the neighbor's laundry that wasn't very clean. Finally, a month later, the first spouse was surprised to see the neighbor's laundry that was being hung finally look really clean. And so the first spouse said to the second spouse, "Wow, look, the neighbor finally figured out how to do their laundry correctly. I wonder what they changed." And the second spouse replied, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." This joke reminds me of what it means for us to be an unenlightened being. How many of us might be nosy and just trying to see what our neighbor's up to, even though it's none of our business? How many of us think it's necessary for us to make comments about the lives and actions of others, even if it doesn't directly impact us? My family always tells me I'm saying things I don't need to say. In Japanese, iranmono. They said, "Oh, don't say that. You don't need to say that." When we look at others and their actions, we're judging them based on our own arbitrary and self-benefiting standards, just as the spouse did. However, just as the spouse did not realize that it was their window that was dirty and obscuring their view, we often do not realize that the judgments that we hold, including our desires and aversions, are based on us looking through our own dirty window of our unenlightened dualistic mind. This is our wrong view. Although it was the case that the spouse's view was distorted, they did not realize their error on their own. They continued to see the world through the dirty window and judge the neighbor as if it was the true way to look at the world. It took someone close to them, outside of them, to show them that there was nothing actually wrong with the neighbor, but it was due to the dirty window that they were looking out of. In this same way, because the way we live our lives is through a distorted lens of wrong view and three poisons, Amida Buddha and all the other Buddhas are trying to be like the second spouse and teach us that our view is distorted. But of course, this does not just mean our literal view, but our heart and mind that is distorted. Because all the Buddhas realize that we are unenlightened beings, judging not just our own neighbors, but all things, experiences, and people through our own dirty window of our defiled heart and mind. This is why we are being given the calling name of Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu is the embodiment of the fundamental vow of Tathagata that resolves for all unenlightened beings to turn their hearts and minds away from relying on seeing things through this dirty window of my defiled heart and mind, and towards a heart and mind that relies on the purity and clearness of true and real, immeasurable wisdom and compassion. It is this great wisdom and compassion of Dharma that awakens us to our unflattering characteristics that we easily accuse others of having, but refuse to acknowledge within ourselves. I would like to share some words from Shakyamuni Buddha that are recorded in a text called Dhammapada. Shakyamuni Buddha says, "It's easy to see the errors of others, but hard to see your own. You point out the errors of others, but conceal your own, like a cheat who covers up an unlucky throw in a game. If you focus on the error of others, constantly finding fault in others, your poisons will continue to flourish. You are far from overcoming them." Those were the words of Shakyamuni Buddha. Because we are always living life looking through our own dirty window, focusing on the errors of others, finding fault in others, our poisons continue to flourish without end. Out of deep compassion for all of us, because we are like this, the vow to guide and carry us to the nirvanic realm of peace and bliss that has no self-centeredness, no dirty window. This vow was established and is being given to us unconditionally through Namo Amida Butsu. We may not be able to clean our own dirty windows, but through Namo Amida Butsu, all the Buddhas are empathetically reminding us that my windows are dirty, and only the Dharma of Namo Amida Butsu is pure, true, and real. Not only that, but they are reminding us that to follow the Dharma does not mean to point out the faults of others and say, hey, look, their windows are dirty. But it's for us to look inward at ourselves and scrutinize my own poisons, my own wrong views. We are being urged to realize that it is because of my poisons that Amida Buddha embraces me just as I am, and is resolved to make me aware that relying on my own defiled heart and mind, or anything in this world of unwholesomeness and suffering, is not what will bring me to the peace of nirvana. Because everything in this world is temporary and unreliable, we are being urged by the Buddhas, as we are, to wholeheartedly take refuge in the true and real wisdom and compassion that is Namo Amida Butsu. For it is only through the working of Namo Amida Butsu that our samsara can come to an end and we can be born in the nirvanic realm of peace and bliss. So in closing, I hope that we can all remember that Namo Amida Butsu is in our lives with a deep care for all of us. While we are living our lives with a dirty window that we cannot clean, Amida Buddha is here with us to not only remind us of our dirty windows, but also to embrace us as we are and carry us to the Pure Land, dirty windows and all. I would like to thank you all very much once again for attending our Dharma service today and for allowing me to share my appreciation of Nembutsu teaching. As always, I encourage us all to continue to reflect on the meaning of Amida's vow and allow the wisdom and compassion of Amida to permeate our hearts and minds and serve as a foundation for our lives each and every day. I would now like to conclude my message by reading a letter written by Master Renyo. I invite you to please bow your heads. Lay people in the latter age who lack wisdom should deeply rely on Amida Buddha with singleness of heart, entrusting themselves to the Buddha single-mindedly and unwaveringly for their emancipation, without turning their thoughts to other matters. However deep and heavy their evil karma may be, Amida Tathagata unfailingly saves them. This is the essence of the 18th vow that assures our birth in the Pure Land through the Nembutsu. Once our heart is thus settled, we should say the Nembutsu, whether awake or asleep, for as long as we live. Humbly and respectfully. Mandai muchi no saike shinjum no nanyo taran tomogara wa kokoro itotsu ni shite amida mutto fukaku tanomimairasete さらに世の方へ心振らず、一心にこにぶ助けたまえともさん主情ば。たとえ在後は人順なりとも、必ず皆如来は救いましますべし。これすなわち第18の念の情の千願の心なり。核のごとく献上しての上には寝ても覚めても命のあらん限りは。称名念仏すべき。ものなりあなかしこあなかしこナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダナマンダ仏ナマンダナマンダ仏ナマンダ
Thank you very much, Sensei, for your Dharma message this morning. Now, if you would please follow along with the reading of Ryogemon.
Once again, I invite you to place your hands together as we recite together Ryogemon, words of understanding of our tradition. We rely upon Amida Buddha with our whole heart for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our imperfect view. There is no doubt that the assurance of enlightenment comes at the very moment we entrust and we recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in joy and gratitude for the Buddha's compassion. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and succeeding masters who have led us to live in this profound teaching, and we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. 両下出言もろもろの造業雑種自力の心を振り捨てて一心に阿弥陀如来我らが今度の一大事のご賞御助け将来と頼み申して候頼む一年の時往生一条御助け事情と存じこの上の称名はご恩報者と存じ、喜び申し候。この恩断り、弔問申し分け候こと。ご解散承認ご出世のご恩。次第僧正の前知識の朝からざるご関係のご恩と、ありがたく存じ候。この上は定めを課せられる恩をきて、一語限り守り申すべく候。ナモアミダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏。
Okay, now it's time for announcements. On July the 14th at 10 o'clock, we will be having our Obon Hatsubon Dharma service, and our guest speaker on that day was Reverend Dr. Mutsumi Wandra, who is the resident minister of Orange County Buddhist Temple. We have several study sessions. The first is on Saturday from 11 to 12 via Zoom, and there's one session left, June the 8th, and this is led by Reverend Takata. We also have a Wednesday session from 7 to 8 p.m. This is also via Zoom. There's one left, June the 5th, and also led by Reverend Takata. Then there is a monthly Shoshinge chanting service followed by Buddhism Beyond Mindfulness. Again, one session left, June the 22nd. This is it starts at 10. The chanting starts at 10. And the discussion gathering is at 11. Everyone is welcome, and this is led by Reverend Umezu. Now, we started a monthly Dharma Kids program, so if you have any grandkids or if your children, has friends, we have on June the 9th will be the Dharma Kids program. June the 15th is our annual yard sale. That'll be from 9 to 1. Plenty of items this year. I do want to announce that June the 7th will be the last day we will be accepting any donations. That's it. So if you have anything, get it in this week. And we would appreciate any help Friday setting up, all day Friday, and then also helping on the day of. So just please come and offer your assistance. Starting June the 25th, we will have our Obon dance practice. This will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Again, it starts on June the 25th through July the 12th, and that's except July the 4th. And then our Obon Festival is July 27th and 28th. We all know about our Obon Festival. It's fantastic. This year, again, we'll be having Abasonics, live music, taiko performance. At 6 o'clock, we have a Dharma service, and then the dancing starts at 6:30. Now, like last year, we are offering Obon memorial lanterns, so that's so that you can remember and honor your loved ones. So we have a chochin with a tassel. One side of the tassel will have the name of your loved ones, and the other side will have the Buddhist name. Deadline to order is July the 13th, and any donation towards this is very welcomed. Every third Friday of the month is bingo. Starts at 7 o'clock, and we have this in our social hall. Now, we announce this every week. T-shirts for sale, West LA T-shirts for sale. I haven't sold any in a while, so if anyone is interested in a T-shirt, please see me or come to the office. And then finally, I always mention that in 2026, we will be celebrating our 100th anniversary. We have various projects in place. Just to let you know, the refurbishment of the Nokotsudo is going along swimmingly. This week, we will be installing new flooring, and then the walls will be painted. And as you know, before you know it, September will be here, and the new Nokotsudo will be installed. So I think it's going to be beautiful. So with that, that concludes our service for today. Again, thank you all for joining us, those in person and those via Zoom. And Sensei?
Oh, Dharma reflection
Okay,
session.
I'm sorry. So there will be Dharma reflection session. Give us about 5 minutes to set up. All right, thank you.